What's up, guys? Happy HyperForce Wednesday. How are you doing? And happy Valentine's Day. Yes, it's Valentine's Day. I would say maybe you forgot, but seriously, it's all over social media. You probably remembered by now. Let's look at the notes. Maybe let's not even look at the notes yet. HyperForce last night definitely gave us, well, we scratched a name off the list of who could potentially be the Alliance leader. We had yOSHI Sudarso was a guest on it again, playing yOSHI, who's Marv's brother. When last we left our heroes, we see Napoleon, who is this like short frog-like dude, basically appointing Maxwell, Joe, to being his personal bodyguard, kind of his right-hand man. We find out Joe is definitely not the Alliance leader, because the Alliance leader and Joe were in the same same place at the same time. I mean, maybe it could be like a futuristic Joe, but like, I don't think they're going to give us, I think it's going to be someone that has nothing to do with the Power Ranger universe, because, or maybe it'll be someone that was long gone or long since forgotten, but I don't think they're going to take, I mean, it's not going to be a Ranger. Saban's giving them a lot of creative freedom with this, but I don't think it's going to be like Jen, or someone who their character is being set up like in Boom Studios. They're going to do the Shattered Grid stuff. Like, why would you possibly? So, we find out that Joe has been undercover, probably gaining approval and everything of this guy for years. Years. That is how deep undercover he was. And you gotta hate it to Napoleon. As soon as he was like, oh, he's a spy, he's like, get rid of him. Dang, man, that's cold. That's cold. Napoleon, Joe kind of fought him, but the quick version of it is he was disintegrated, and they didn't even have to have a Zord battle. They did get their swords out, though, because our heroes fought for the first time, tried to fight the Alliance leader. Joe nearly died. Eddie had to use his healing charge. It was kind of, at one point, we kind of thought Joe was going to die, and we were really wondering how that was going to work, but he didn't. He didn't die. He is safe. He has been deep undercover for a very, very long time, and, I mean, the fact that Time Force, I mean, Jen didn't even know he was alive, so you have to wonder, like, how high up, you know? She is, like, the active director or whatever after everything has happened, so, like, even the fact that she didn't know, though, I mean, really, when you become director during a war, do they really hand you a pamphlet of things like, here are the people that are missing in war? No, probably not. So our heroes are in the warehouse, and that's kind of where it starts. There's a huge party going on. Woohoo, Proton Accelerator. They're trying to just blend in, and by they, I mean the rest of the Rangers are trying to just blend in, but then they're like, okay, we need a diversion, because we gotta get to Joe, we gotta get to the Proton Accelerator. Chloe, like, she's in her battleizer, and she's just like, whoosha, with a trench coat. It worked, so she totally got their attention. At one point, for another diversion, Vesper was like, oh my goodness, someone stole my purse, in like some voice that was probably way better than that, to get attention. We had a lot of diversions. Joe and Napoleon go off. Joe is in bad shape, like Napoleon has his little frog tongue wrapped around him, and the rest of them have to go back to SPD headquarters. Really great interactions with Doggy Kruger again, as well, and oh my goodness, Marv and Doggy were like, oh, Marv was like, I demand a formal apology because you disrespected me and my team. And Doggy's like, you showed up on Earth and we didn't know who you were. What do you think? And Marv's like, we're Rangers. And Doggy's like, rah, rah, rah. It's exactly like that. Promise. So they go to, they're starting to interrogate. So they bring all of them back to SPD headquarters. They put them in cells, which means, due to the cell technology, they can't talk to each other. They can morph, which you find out later, but they can't communicate with each other. Chloe at first gives them the oh yeah, we're from Cayenne. Like, she couldn't remember planet Cayenne, neither could Vesper. But you get Chloe, who says like nothing, and then she's like, okay, Viper from the year 3016, and blah 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 blah. And then they're like, okay, that's nice, sweetie, you're crazy. We're gonna go talk to someone else. Meanwhile, also Vesper is like howling. She kept trying to there was some great stuff with her and Doggy. She kept making more dog jokes and dog puns, being like, no, we're like alike, right? We're litter mates. It was pretty cool. Vesper didn't really give them anything. She also told them they were from the year whatever, and I didn't quite believe her. But you get to Eddie. And Eddie, oh my goodness. Eddie cracked like an egg on a sidewalk. Okay, it was amazing. There's clips. People did take clips of it from Twitch clips. But you laid out like the entire story of what they've been doing in like 45 seconds. Just, and then we got SPD, and then the Alliance Leader detections, we got these powers, and then we got on a ship, and then I don't know, and then we go back to Angel Grove, and then we meet the Yellow Ranger, and it's like, kudos, Andre, that was awesome. That was awesome. They also realized that Vesper wasn't human, and they kind of bring that out to her, and she was like, yeah, your scans were super invasive. They're like, it was a metal detector. So it, they get everything, but while this, you know, whatever, the beacon, they're fighting for the beacon. Joe goes to attack, and instead of attacking Napoleon, he attacks the beacon, and now he was like, well, it shouldn't be hard to roll against. It's an inanimate object, which everybody cracked up on because, come on, their rolls were terrible. They're always terrible. Thanks to everybody for giving supers this week. They were like supering rolls because the situation was so important. I mean, this wasn't like, oh, you're gonna fight a bunch of putties. This was like, this particle accelerator is going to blow, and they're like, we're gonna mega, and we're gonna, yeah. So Joe hits the proton accelerator. Joe also morphs before this, by the way. So he's full on like, haha, I'm taking you in, I'm SPD. Time Force, haha, I'm Time Force. Just pretend I did it right the first time. But sorry, they're trying to get the beacon for the great absorption, and you learn a lot about the people in this building, that they're not there to be evil. Just some people are, clearly. But, you know, like the people they're really talking to and interact with, they just want food, you know? Like, they want a place to belong. They're probably, you know, mutants, don't have places to go, and so it reminded me a lot of, not that X-Men, it's not that X-Men 3 was good, but it reminded me a lot of that, where a lot of the mutants were coming together and, you know, kind of a crappy place because they didn't have anywhere to go, and they're, you know, shunned. But we still didn't know what the great imaging, or the great absorption was, or the beacon, but Joe got it. So Joe's talking to Carl. Carl is the side guy, and he's like, you know, do you know what this is gonna be? And Carl's like, everything changes, you know, and this beacon goes, everything changes, everything, humans and mutants, everything changes. When the beacon goes off, he tells Carl, you know, like, just get away from the beacon, get away, and he says, okay, I will. So Joe hits the particle accelerator with his attack. Suddenly it spins, and opens up like a beautiful, menacing, pointy metal flower. Big white beam of light up to the sky, starts to rotate the air in the sky, and then you see fading in the silhouette of the Alliance leadership and starting to float down. This giant beacon is just blowing people out of the way. It's so strong. It vaporizes Napoleon, so cool, got rid of him. But that is the beacon. The beacon was to signal the Alliance leader, and when the Alliance leader shows up, all of the mutants there are like, yay, we've been waiting for you. Some of them are like trying to pray to her, you know. No, he's just like, and he sucks up all of their energy, and then they all go, now, this is Power Rangers. They don't die, but all of their life force and current energy has been sucked out of them, so they all just passed out. So the leader is going. The leader isn't just going there to absorb the powers, or absorb the energy from all the mutants. He was there, actually, for the proton accelerator. He actually just reaches in and just grabs it from the beacon, kind of like, floats it to his ship. The ship absorbs it. He was wanting it because he was wanting to repair the ship. So you remember, the HyperForce Rangers, their ship is better. The Alliance ship has taken some damage, and it is now going to be, yeah. This is going to be awesome. So the Alliance leader comes out. Nobody actually saw Joe morph. Nobody saw, like, that part. So Joe demorphs, walks to the Alliance leader, bows. You know, our leader is disintegrated. I was second in command, you know. So I am responsible. What can we do? And the Alliance leader's like, stay out of my way. So Joe goes invisible. He puts a tracking beacon on the Alliance ship. The Alliance leader's kind of badass. He is really, really badass. But then the rest of the Rangers, after this beacon, after this commotion, they morph up, they show up. Chloe's in her battleizer. Still, she did not unmorph. She was in her battleizer during her interrogation, remember. You know, she starts attacking them. They get a healing charge on Joe, who's at like 14 health. 12, it was pretty low. But they got a healing charge on him, but the Alliance leader, yeah, he's fading up to the sky. The rest of the mutants are going all to the Cerberus Zord. A group of mutants, and Carl, the light's being escaped from their bodies. Vesper's trying to defend them. I mean, they jump in. Vesper gets in the way at the wrong moment. It goes through her claws because she's in her Zord. Yeah, it hits the mutants, but they do something really awesome at the end. And I hope this thing doesn't die before I get to the very end of it. But in the most Ranger thing possible, Eddie had another healing charge. And he didn't have enough energy to use it. And all of the Rangers basically pulled their energy to give to Eddie. And he used his healing charge on Carl, who is, you know, kind of passed out. So they get Carl back up to where he's conscious. Tell him what happened-ish. Yeah, all the people have pulses, you know, they're all breathing, they're just unconscious. Eddie, in the bank's way, gave Carl some money and just told me, get out. Like, this isn't the place for you. If you just want a meal, get out of here. Yeah, and then, so after all this, the Alliance leader is gone. SPD Rangers know they're good. Marv and them say goodbye to, Detective Song, and Doggy Kruger wasn't there. And they leave the SPD. One thing that I realized, though, that I forgot to mention, the Alliance leader, Joe tries to stop him to do something, and the Alliance leader rips his morpher off. And his Time Force badge, because when they repaired the ship, it was that fast with the proton accelerator. It fixed the ship, but it had to be resynced with a Time Force for verification because it's a Time Force ship. And they're like, hey, if we're not Time Force, we're not going to work. Joe has his morpher and Time Force badge ripped off of him. The Alliance leader starts up the ship, and they go. So, they have Joe, which is cool. Who knows if, you know, he's going to be in the next episode, or maybe he'll have to, like, go back to SPD headquarters or something, and not be in the next one while they go off for the next adventure, trying to find the Alliance leader. So, Joe is definitely not the Alliance leader, but he also doesn't have his Time Force badge or his morpher. The Alliance leader has that, along with a brand new repaired ship, and a lot of energy from a lot of mutants that he drained. Where does this leave us? I don't know. Next week. The last two episodes with Joe and everything, it's been pretty intense. Really has been intense. I just keep typing pages and pages of notes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to my thoughts on HyperForce episode 15, I believe. I'll fix it in post. Have a great day, Ranger Nation, and I will see you at the next video tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be Build and Lupin Ranger vs. Patch Ranger Quarter 2 scans. To go over that Friday, Ranger Weekend Review, Toku Weekend Review, and I hope to see you there. Have a great day, guys. Bye!